for the one and only Queen Shirl'e.
Because, you know, you're facing a whole community of Māoris and you're like the Samoan girl and they're like, hey, who's the Samoan girl trying to... Yeah, so I haven't really traveled, and one of the reasons is because they might stop me at the airport.
Well, tell us a little bit about that, because I know you touched a little bit earlier on about identity.
So when someone tells you you're not a Samoan, you're something else, it was like shock. I was just completely shocked.
Didn't really embrace, or just really kind of started to embrace your Indian culture. Why?
When I ended up meeting other Indians here, I was like, well, no, I'm not Indian.
Sad. Yeah. Tell us, because I know, also the venture, the new venture that you have, that is coming very soon.
Because I've been to a couple already, and I just thought, man, this is awesome. You know, and I had fun with the girls too, of like, hey, which one did you like? Which one are you going with? Okay, I'll cross that one out. So I could just jump in as well, you know, and like, hey, who knows? I might find someone as well. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, I've got to be professional and, you know, host as well. So I don't want to see the host taking all the guys. These minutes be like, hey, I want a refund.
Hey, Mandate. Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is from Tāmaki Makaurau. In fact, she was born in American Samoa in Pango in the 684, but now resides in Tāmaki Makaurau in Aotearoa, New Zealand. She is from the beautiful, beautiful suburb of 275, Mangere or Mangele. She is an amazing wahine toa. She is a hip-hop MC. She is a producer, songwriter. She is also a youth mentor. She owns her own academy. She also is the host of her own podcast called Youth in the Booth, but also very entrepreneurial and business-minded. She is immaculate in terms of the work that she does. Also has something in the pipelines that she's going to share with us tonight that's already been launched. But also more so, she's an amazing mother, but also has an amazing and incredible story to share. Please put your hands together for the one and only Queen Shirl'e!
What's up, everybody? How's it going? Hey, what an intro. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, bro. Really appreciate you.
Hey, man, all love us, sis. And also thank you for gracing the podcast tonight, but also, more so, just being here, because I really want to know the story, your story. I know people have known you for many years. You've been in the game for many years in the music industry and so forth. But for those who are not familiar with your work, and for those who are like, oh, Queen, what is Queen about? And so please tell us from the get-go in terms of why the hip-hop, why music, and also the amazing work that you've done thus far.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. Where do I start? There's so many chapters, bro. I don't even know if this podcast will be able to hold the whole thing. But firstly, I just want to say thank you so much. I love the Ngaluenga that you guys are doing. And also, like, you know, like just giving everybody a platform as well, our community, our people, a voice, and to share their stories. So, you know, much love to you and respect as well, bro. Yeah, so, you know, when we, in Samoa, my great-grandmother, she actually brought me up in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So she was a very strong temple goer. So she used to work in the temple. And so, you know, we started in church as with Lukamiki, you know, the White Sunday and all that sort of stuff as well. So performing arts was actually instilled in us at a very young age. And so I was really grateful to my great-grandmother for that, you know, for putting me through that as well. So moving to Aotearoa, I moved to Mangele in 1986, and I moved in with my Aoi Matangi family in Mangele, and I was really, really grateful to grow up with my grandparents who raised me. They were very strong churchgoers as well, but also all my uncles that I grew up with were very strong, let's just say sports people. They were very, I saw them as athletes. So growing up, I really wanted to be an athlete as well. Just wanted to be a sprinter and play every sport that you can think of. I had an uncle, Uncle Clay, who was the musical uncle. So he would play guitar, and he also was on theatre shows and things like that. So I was really inspired by him as well, wanted to follow him, and he was a bodybuilder, and the next minute I wanted to be a bodybuilder. Obviously that didn't work out. But how did I get into the whole hip-hop thing? Yeah, I guess in Samoa, actually go back to Samoa where I grew up in Whaleula. So even though I was born in Bango, I moved to Whaleula where our family grew up. our Fruin family. And so across the road, there was a Catholic church there. A lot of people that grew up in Samoa might know, but there was a Catholic church there who, and they had a little concert, and it was a breakdancing concert. So us little kids, I remember we all went to this concert, and I remember spinning on my head and learning how to do a bit of breaking, and that's where the whole passion and the love for hip-hop started. But we didn't know what it was called. We didn't know if it was called hip-hop. We just knew it was dance. But then, in Aotearoa, so many different people had come into my life, and, you would see a little snippet of this, like graffiti art, you see a little bit of rap, he was a bit of a DJ. And then one day, one of my uncles who moved in from Greyland to where I was living in Mangere down Mayflower, he was a DJ, and he would take me to town, and he would take me around to different train stations, and he'll go, look at those, that's my work on that train there, and it kind of like he sort of showed me that it was a culture. He showed me that hip-hop was a culture, and it all made sense, and I just fell in love with it. I just thought, wow, this is amazing. This is like the bomb. This is the life that I want to live. But then, yeah, there's just so many different chapters, so many parts, bro. I could go on about it, but yeah, like the rap thing at school, I started writing poetry at school. The teachers would be like, in English, they would teach us poetry and stuff like that. But then, I always I just found comfort in writing. Writing was my thing. And, I grew up in a very strong Samoan family where very strict, like most of us, very strict upbringing. And so, the hidings and, that was normal to us. And so creativity and art and dance, rap was like our outlet. I would go to school and just go handy there because we couldn't do it at home. And so, so poetry was like something that I loved doing. And I even wrote poems for one of my girls at school for their boyfriends, and they would give it to their boyfriends, and then next minute they'll come back and go, hey, can you write another one? I'll be like, yeah, sure. and then it was like my little side hustle at school, writing poems for my girls. But that was fun. That was really cool. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, because you're taking me back in the 80s now, because I love the breakdancing, the beat streets and the breaking electric boogaloo and all that kind of stuff. And I love that all that stuff. Especially in the 80s, this one like more the R&B and then all the hip hop, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of music. And so when you come from Samoa, American Samoa, and then you come to New Zealand, how was the transition? Because I'm curious to understand the transition, because you come as a youngster, you move here, and it's a whole new culture. Or was there culture shock when you came, or was it like, this is my family, this is my inga? Obviously, you raised up with your grandparents. But tell us a little bit about that, because I know you touched a little bit earlier on about identity. I did, yeah. Yeah, I think when you're a youngster, well, I remember being a little freshy Samoan girl, and just getting, just the whole environment. I didn't even know what Māoris, the different cultures were here, but, I didn't even know how to speak English, bro. Like, I just knew how to say yes and no. That's all I knew. And so it was really hard. It was hard to navigate my way through school. The first year I stayed home and just watched music videos, and the first music videos that I knew about was the Herbs, Arija, and so I would watch those ready to roll, Aotearoa Countdown. Yeah, so I remember all my family used to have VHS tapes, stacks of them at home, and so I would just watch that all day while all my sister and my uncles and that were at school. And then I think a year later, when I was about 6, I started going to school, and it was still hard because, I still didn't know how to speak English and things like that. It was really hard. Yeah, I think also me being half Indian, we talked about this earlier, I found it really hard because growing up as a Afghasi in Samoa, a lot of my cousins used to mock me as well. They used to call me Kale and, Inkia and things like that. And so I found that really, really hard to accept. And so when I moved here, I just really wanted to identify as a Samoan girl because to me, I was Samoan. And so it took me years. Even now, I've only just accepted, and have embraced my other side, my Indian side. But
It is hard. It's hard to. It's something that's so deep that you can't really explain what it does to you. But you just try your best to just avoid it, really. But yeah.
No, that's cool. That's
and
cool.
even like at times, people used to say, "Are you Maoli?" And I go, "Yeah, I'm Maoli." Because I grew up. Because even though I grew up here, it was like I had an auntie who lived with us, and her mum used to work in a koanga reo, and so she would take me to babysit her son, my little cousin, in the weekends, and so she would speak te reo to her kids and the grandchildren, and so I picked up te reo probably, more than English when I was a little kid, and so I learned to embrace the Māori culture a lot more as a youngster. Because I felt that it was similar to our Samoan culture and the way I was brought up in Samoa. And so it was really natural and it was easy to adapt to the Māori culture. And then next minute I was in the Māori kapahaka at school and, doing the poi and And I really enjoy it. And even till now, I get asked to MC Waitangi festivals and I get asked to MC protests like Ihumātao protest. I've been invited to MC that. And even though it's scary, because, you're facing a whole community of Māoris and you're like the Samoan girl and they're like, hey, who's the Samoan girl trying to come here and MC for our Māori event? But it's just beautiful to be respected and to know that, people embrace me even though I'm a Samoan, or trust me to host the events for them. And I guess it's just the love that I have for the culture, for Aotearoa and the Māori people and mana whenua as well.
Oh, man, my Lord, Queen. You said it several times, Queen, in terms of embracing. And do you think, or do you see now, because it seems like it's something that more people are embracing more of their identity or going back to the islands. If it's those who used to be called plastic Samoans or plastic islander, people are now kind of like, getting the tatau or the malu, the kolima and so forth. Do you see it's becoming more common now that people are like, I want to know about my culture, I want to embrace it. What are your thoughts when you kind of see that, or like even for yourself, like how often have you gone back to Samoa and all that kind of stuff, or just trying to discover more of your Samoan roots?
Well, to be honest, I haven't been back since I've been here.
Serious?
Wow. And I think it's because, one thing, I had passport issues because honestly, to be honest, I wasn't going to say anything, but I'm still under American citizen. But let's cut that out.
No, that's cool. American.
Because I found out, I'm a bit of a hustler, I found out that once you become a permanent resident, you don't even need to worry about having a New Zealand passport. Because to me, I've been here all my life and I'm all good. Yeah. Like I could travel, but then I'll come back in a visa. I have to use a visa to come back. So I haven't really traveled. And one of the reasons is because once I became a single mum, I just found it really, really hard to leave the country or, because of my passport issues. Yeah. And I had the fear that if I was to leave and they might stop me at the airport.
Hey, you're an American citizen.
But I'm still got that. But I mean, people would say, "Man, that's so cool that you got a citizen, you're American citizen." I say, what's so cool about it? It's just nothing but a paper. Because I've really embraced this country as my country, and I feel like I'm here now. I'm not going to go anywhere. My kids are here. My hood is here. Yeah. And I really felt connected to tangata whenua here, and so I don't think I'm going to leave. Oh. So I feel like, And
you know what's so cool, Queen? Even though we talk about identity and so forth and embracing the culture, but I love it. Like, even though you're 685 Samoa, but you're invited to all these different Māori events, tangata whenua events, and they, which tells you what? They embrace you. They embrace you, the kaupapa that you do, which is beautiful, and there's no whakamā, there's no shame in that, and it's beautiful. And so I thought we would just go back, because we could talk about identity and culture. You said just beforehand, you said that didn't really embrace, or just really kind of started to embrace your Indian culture. Why? Or why? What was the blockage? Was it because people were just mocking you?
Yeah.
Or was it something that you felt like, I don't identify with the Indian culture?
Yeah, I think also the stories that I grew up hearing about my mom and my dad and them splitting up, as a youngster, you hear these stories and you hear different stories from different people, and you sort of like feel so left out because you're the last person to know about it. And I just when you hear these stories, you just don't want to know. And I didn't want to hear it because it was a sad story. Like, I felt so lost in between because not even my own mum had told me about it, or I had to hear it from an auntie or a cousin when I was a little bit older. So, and also it's true. I couldn't identify myself with Indians, and it's not that I was racist. No, it's because I felt like I was a Samoan girl because I was born in Samoa. I spoke the language fluently. I identify myself as a Samoan girl, and I was a very proud Samoan girl. So when someone tells you you're not a Samoan, you're something else, it was like shock. I was just completely shocked. I didn't know how to embrace that. And when I ended up meeting other Inkias here, I was like, well, no, I'm not Indian.
Sad.
I was like, no, I'm Samoan, guys. No.
Hey, at least you're not racist, eh?
Hey, I'm allowed because I'm half Indian. No, but it's the truth. It was just the way I was as a kid. You don't know what those things are. You're just being a kid, and and because we came from a place of being strong, and we're very feisty people, and I came from a background of being prideful, of being a strong Samoan person, and so for me, I couldn't identify with the Indians culture because I felt that they were just completely the opposite. I couldn't identify. But you know what? I met some really amazing Indian people. I made some really great friends with them. And after talking to some of them, I was like, wow, I get it now. This is why I'm into so many different businesses. So that's a positive thing. And so I did have a desire to find out who my dad was. Me and my sister, we did some research and we tried everything that we can. We couldn't find our dad. So I had to accept that we were never going to meet him and we were never going to know anything about our other side. So that's just something that I had to just bottle it up and just put it to the side and just continue, and just keep living life and just, with what I have, work with what I have, and embrace the positive side of being a Samoan person. But, over the years as an adult, you kind of you still have those thoughts of I think it's okay to be an Indian now. I think I've accepted it now because I feel like I'm grown now and I've gotten over it, and I feel, I met some really good people out there who are half caste, half-Samoa and Inkia, and they're beautiful people. And I think, and it's okay. I've accepted it now. So all love to the Inkias.
Oh, hard out. And good. I love it, the attitude around it. Sometimes you just have to accept some things in life. You have to control of some of those circumstances, and it's cool. And so we talk about the Indian culture, Samoan culture, and now the hip-hop culture, because it seems like you just entrenched yourself in the hip-hop culture. You're a hip-hop MC, poetry, songwriting, all that stuff that comes along with the hip-hop culture. And so tell us, was that culture in terms of your writing and so forth, was it something just for you to kind of express the emotions, express how you're feeling, express even some of the anguish and all the things that are happening in your life at that time?
Yeah, I love how you said that because it is so true. I think also with my troubles as a youngster, I was a very troubled youth. I was one of those kids that got moved from house to house, and I found that other people along the journey as well with similar situations where, they'll be with this auntie's house, next minute they got kicked out, and then they're now living over this house. And so I found myself in those situations. So, and when I think about the hip hop culture, I think about the struggles because it was, it started from a struggle. It started from a place where they had nothing. It was poverty, houses were getting burnt and just people were in the streets. And these bunch of kids in the community, they had to find something to keep them positive. And so I think about how that relates to my life is that my struggle too, being out on the street at times, having nowhere to stay, being homeless. I found myself in those situations as a youngster. And so music, rap and the culture itself, you know, like that really did save me. And I always say to people, man, hip-hop really saved my life, because turning to rap and writing and spitting bars, that's what really helped me. That's what kept me, like, you know, sane, and it kept me hopeful that, you know, something good will come out of this, you know, or like tomorrow's going to be a better day, you know, and I'll write about it. And just like immersing myself in rhymes, before you know it, you're just like, you're happy, you know, you're at your happy place. And I found that that was my vortex, you know, which is a place where you can just go to and no one can touch you. You know, I could get a hiding from this uncle, or I can get a hiding from here, but no one could touch me where in my vortex, where I could just rhyme all day or be creative. And it was also, it's in the mind, you know, it's working with words in your mind. And it's crazy because, you know, being a freshy girl from Samoa, you know, I'm thinking, how the heck could I work with words, you know? Because this is like, yeah, it's a hard thing to do, you know, when you're trying to work with words and you only know how to speak one language. So for me, it was just about challenging myself and pushing myself, because what else is there to do when you've got nothing? You know, so for me, it was just something for me to do to stay positive, to keep me off the streets and keep me from harming myself and feeling down about my situation. And so, yeah, rap music was my savior. And so from there, I would meet DJs and I would meet other breakdancers at school, and we would go and watch some hip-hop movies at their house, and a whole bunch of kids would all go wag at someone's house, and we're like, oh, let's go watch Wild Style or Breakdance the movie, and it was just amazing. I was just so in love with it. It's just like something that was just so cool to me, you know. And then seeing other people that were into the same thing, you become a little community, and you just sort of all just hang out, and you know, you just keep growing and just keep doing that. And so I loved it. I loved how it wasn't a bad thing. It was a positive thing. And I think when you're going through a lot of, you know, like abuse, or you're going through a lot of situations where you're, you know, you're just like, yeah, you know, hurt, you're in a hurtful place, or feel unloved, and all those thoughts. Yeah, hip hop is the one that's what saved me, and that's what makes me feel better. And so, yeah, I'm grateful, and I'm always forever grateful to that culture. And speaking of that, over the years, I also had a dream to like be part of the Hip-Hop Summit, because I used to take my kids, you know, when I became a mum. Their dad was also a pioneer of, you know, in the Aotearoa South Auckland hip-hop. And so, you know, watching his journey and his group evolving in hip-hop, as well as, you know, practitioners in hip-hop, I was just like, wow, you know, I want to bring my kids up in this culture, because this is like amazing. You know, it's just something that it was almost like I was married to the culture. And one day it stopped, the Hip-Hop Summit stopped, and I actually cried. I just thought, what are we going to do? Where are we going to take the kids? How are we going to keep them in this culture now that the summits are gone? Because that was our event, our yearly event that we would go to with the kids, where they can see everything, the unity, you know, all the elements were there. And it was just a beautiful thing. If you love the culture, you know what I'm talking about. And so when that died, I had this dream, and I did talk to Phil Fuimana's brother, Tony, who was also Phil Fuimana, you might know him. Yeah. Rest in peace to the brother. Yeah, the OG. He was also like the godfather of South Auckland, you know, hip-hop and the music scene. And so for me, it was just like I wanted to do something to carry that on. And so I hit him up, and I hit up a few other people, you know, King Kapisi, I hit up Ned Roy, DJ Ned Roy, Johnny Sangala, and I said, hey, I want to bring the Hip-Hop Summits back, you know, let's come together and bring it back. And, you know, we got through a lot of ups and downs. There were a lot of hills and mountains to go over, because, you know, other people were like, you couldn't do it, you know, you don't own the summit, we own the summit. And I was just like, man, you know, this is the only event that will bring our culture together, all the elements. And I said, I'm just trying to keep it alive. And I said, I don't own the Hip-Hop Summit, anyone can do it. But it's about, you know, your passion, you know, if it's your time and you feel passionate about doing it, so be it. And so that was my time. And so we hosted the 2011 Hip-Hop Summit, and that was at Manukau, the old movie theatre. I don't know if you remember that one. It turned into that one turned into a church, and it was amazing. It was so hard because we did it with no funding. We just did it out of our own pockets. I was working at Te Wānanga Aotearoa. I was a teacher there. I was a performing arts tutor, and I would save every week. And I saved like 10K just to pay for the summit because, I was just really passionate. I really wanted to make it happen. And so, and a lot of people just jumped on board and said, hey, let's help. We want to help. And that's what it should be. Anything to do with hip-hop, it should be about that. It should be community. It should be about helping each other bring the elements together. Because look at our culture. It's like amazing now. Like, it's a billion-dollar business to a lot of people around the world, but to us, it's what saved our life, and this is what we want to do. We want to keep it grassroots, and I wanted to keep it grassroots. I wanted it to be grassroots so that our next generation could, just come along and just jam without having to be pressured of you have to pay or they want to be paid to do it. It was like, no, if you love the culture and you love to dance, you love to break, you love to draw, write, you love to rap, you can come and do it here. It's okay, this is your safe space to do it, and we wanted to be the ones that could in the background to make it happen for them. And so that's what it was about. No one even knew that I hosted that summit, and it's okay because I didn't need to tell people about it. To me, it was just about making it happen for our next generation, so that our kids could continue that and have a passion or desire to keep the culture alive as well in the future.
My Lord, Queen. You know what? When I'm listening to you, 'cause the passion exudes. You can tell straight off the bat. You love the hip hop, obviously the culture, the elements around hip hop, but also the writing process and obviously the summits. And so, and it seems like a common theme, Queen, that sometimes I hear is that people say that either music or hip hop save them, and they kind of journal and they write down the things that are happening in their lives and so forth. And so now that you're quite established. You've been in the game for some time now, and I love that you give of your heart, your time to hip hop, but also your story around hip hop. What do you see now? What do you see now in terms of the hip hop community now? Is it still the same? Is it still the elements still there, or are things kind of being tweaked or changed? And is hip hop still saving lives to this date, in terms of our young rangatahi and so forth?
Oh, absolutely. It's definitely evolved, and I think we have to pay tribute to those hip-hop summits and, those that came before us, and I always give back to them. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do the more summits after that was to pay tribute, because I wanted the kids of today to know that these guys fought to have these platforms. These guys fought to have our songs playing on radio stations when they were only playing rock music. They weren't playing. That's why Phil Freemana and them the Lost Tribe started creating their own events, because their music wouldn't, no one would play them on radio. And so it wasn't until they started to make noise, then that's when they started to get embraced, and, more people wanted to hear them more on radio and stuff. So it's those stories that make me feel like I got to do something about. I've got to hold on to that, and I want to share that with our kids and the next generation. So, but you look at it now, I think a lot of young people now are very influenced by overseas, like they were back then. A lot of us, would listen to Salt and Pepper, MC Light, and all that. Mm-hmm. So those were our heroes. Queen Latifah. We wanted to be them when we were youngsters. So the next generation now, it's a whole nother world. There's subgenres of hip-hop now. There's different genres where it has blown up, and there's all these new different genres that I didn't even know about that these youngsters are listening to, but it's all relatable. It's all related to the culture, to hip-hop. And some people might disagree. They might go, no, that's not hip-hop, but I believe it is, because then it's just evolving. Yeah. And I think that's something that we cannot control. And I think that's why the hip-hop summits were great, because when I hosted one in 2017, which is the last one that I hosted, it was about embracing every element. And I had learned also there was 10 elements, not just 4. It had grown. So there were so many more elements to that. There was beatboxing. Yeah. There was entrepreneurship. There was fashion, street language. There was knowledge. There's, so many, and then you had the 10th element, which was mental health. And this only had just come out, I think 2016, and it was, it was just something that was rarely talked about. And so I wanted to highlight that and remind people like, hey, our culture is going to grow and it's going to evolve. It's not going to just be 4 elements, and we have to grow with it. If those guys in New York are doing it and living it, we need to also be in tune with the culture and evolve as well. So even though not many people were really focused on it, I just continued and try to do it in my own way by practicing. I wasn't perfect, but, in terms of like staying green, because it was a lot of the people that actually endorsed it, they were like, they're vegans and stuff like that. So it was about looking after their health, their mental health, and just because, you look at a lot of practitioners from back in the day, they're still rapping and stuff, in America, and they still look great. And I'm wondering, how are they, still able to look the same like they were back then? And it's because they're embracing their element. Which is really talked about. And so we talk about it here in Aotearoa. We talk about mental health. We talk about looking after our health and things like that. And so I started joining a lot of nutrition businesses, about 5-6 years ago. I got into Herbalife, and I just really wanted to, embrace that and prepare myself for the future so I could continue to rap even in my 40s or 50s and 60s. Who knows? If I make it there, I'll probably still be busting raps.
Right, man, you'll be still doing the summit, your own summit.
Yeah, so that's where so it has grown and it evolves. It has evolved over the years, but but the thing I'm seeing now is that a lot of it is all like a lot of the people in different cities. They're kind of like just doing it in their own little cities now, which is okay. And when I talk about the graffiti scene, I'm like talking to a few graffiti artists, some of the sisters, and they're all like they're still active, but no one's really talking about it. Like it's very like if I go to a hip hop event like this year, I went to Ladies of Hip Hop, which is an event that was hosted by my beautiful sis Rena, and she was also inspired by the guys over in America. So they started it, and then they connected with her, and she hosted the one this year and last year. And I saw the panel, and I said, oh, there's no where are all the graffiti artists, the sisters that are doing graffiti? I know heaps. There's a few of them that are doing it. But, it was really, it was sort of like based around dance. So to them, it was like, the dance element has really taken over hip-hop. Now they even have a section called hip-hop. And to the next generation in the dance community, hip-hop is dance. And so when I had the meeting with the sis, I said, sis, where do we come in as MCs or as graffiti artists, or, and it was really interesting because, she was also learning as well, like, hey, you're right. We should include the graffiti artists in this category. We should have more sisters and from different elements. And so that's what it's about. And that's where the knowledge comes in. And so speaking of that, I've just connected with FDKNS again, the Bro Monty,
yes.
And it was awesome because, he's been full on doing tattooing, but his team, he's got a whole bunch of new ones in the crew now coming up, and now he's moving into mentoring and carrying that on. So I've kind of reconnected with them as, hey, let's do something for our community and, bring FDKNS back in the community and give back to the community and get these kids off the street from tagging and turning their art into professions. So that's what we're doing. We've got an art festival coming up in Mangere Town Centre, and that's in collaboration with Mangere Town Centre, the crew there. And I'm really excited to host that. Our academy, the Queen Shirl'e Academy, will be hosting that, and I'd love for you guys to be there as well.
Cool.
Bring a stall, or you can even come through and share some of the work that you and wifey do as well, around your suicide awareness. I think it's a great thing, a great platform to all collaborate and share.
Yeah, that's awesome. In terms of the entrepreneurship,
Yes.
the business side of things.
The wins story.
Yeah, the wins and so forth. Yeah, tell us,
Yeah.
tell us, because I know, and also the venture, the new venture that you
yes.
that is coming very soon.
Yep, it is. It's already open. So what he's talking about is this new. It's called New Bay. So New Bay is my new venture. It is a speed dating venture, and it's an event that's going to be hosted every Mondays. Actually, every fortnight on Mondays at Woodside in Manukau, well, just to start there, but the plan is to grow it, and the plan is to go to different areas. So I'm hoping to have one in the city at K Road, and even out west as well, and in Wellington. Some of my girls are hitting me up to bring it down to Wellington. So, but I'm just starting off here in South because, South Side all day, and, in the heart of South Auckland, why not in Manukau at Woodside? And I've got some really beautiful friends there who I've connected with, and they love the idea. And so, so this new venture is just something that I was really inspired to kick off, and it also related to the song that I just released. So the new song that I've just released is called Somebody New, and it's a song about coming out of, toxic or heartbreaks and, relationships that failed. And it's about finding love again, finding hope and love. Because I tell you, bro, a lot of people I've spoken to who've come out of those relationships feel like it's over. And I've even said this to people. People always say, oh, don't worry, you'll find someone. I'm like, no, it's over. I'm done. I'm so done. There's no hope in me. There's no hope in anything else. And I'm okay with it. I'm happy. But, the back of your mind, you're like, wouldn't it be nice to find love, It's a beautiful thing. When I see couples and just the unity and the love that they have, it's a beautiful thing. And so for me, it's about giving hope to our people out there that have given up, that, come along to the speed dating. You never know. You might meet someone. You might not even match, but you might find a new friend. And it's about just having a good time and having fun. And, it's going to be all good. It's actually quite fun. And I actually enjoy it because I've been to a couple already, and I just thought, man, this is awesome. And I had fun with the girls too, of hey, which one did you like? Which one are you going with? Okay, I'll cross that one out. And so, it's a fun dating event. And I thought I'll do this because I do so much hard work with the youth. It's stressful. It takes up a lot of my energy. And then I've got my son, my boys at home. And so I needed something for me to kind of an outlet for me as well, that I could enjoy and not too stressful. So this was perfect. It's such an easy, job. It's just hosting and welcoming people in and just letting people just meet each other. It's such a really cool thing. And so it's going to be awesome. Wow. Yeah. So I'm really excited about it. And it is launching on the 18th of August. Yeah. And I have the website. So my website is shirleproductions.com, and it is now live. So don't all jump all at once, guys. But there are limited seats, okay? So the first one, once it's full, we will close the portal, and then we'll open up the portal for the next round. And we are looking at doing one for the rainbow community as well. So stay put, guys. It's coming.
Oh, man, Queen. you still got me stuck on speed dating. Speed dating.
What is it? I know the brother's what is this? How come I never heard of that back in my day? Hey, you're lucky you already, you and wifey already sorted, so you don't have to worry, bro. But if you do have any brothers out there who are single, holla, bring them hide in my this way. Because I tell you, you're going to love it. It's going to be awesome. So basically, you turn up to this event and you talk to people you get 5 to 6 minutes, depending on how many is there. And then you move on to the next person. So I'll have a bell and I'll be like, ding, 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 your time's up. And then you just move on to the next person. So our girls will just sit in one side and the guys will move around. So they'll just move around to, in anti-clockwise. So yeah, that's how it pretty much works. And but if we have so many people, then we will. It just all depends on how we set it up as well. So me and the sis Kolopa, shout out to my sis Kolopa, and also my girl Rachel, who's also the general manager at Woodside. We've also we're collaborating on this as well. So they're going to help, with the venue and the food and the drinks and everything like that. So it's a beautiful collaboration and I'm excited about it. Yeah, and I think everyone's going to have fun because like I said, it's all about having fun. It's a Monday night, it's quiet, and it's a beautiful evening for us, singles to come out and just single to mingle. Single to mingle, guys. Single, and then just enjoy your night. It's a really good environment to be in, and you'll find that, you might make some new friends, or like I said last time, I told you, right, bro, the one that I went to last time, when I found out he was an accountant, I went, oh, I need an accountant. I said, an accountant, oh my gosh, big tech there. Yes. And then there was another one who was a chiropractor. I was like, oh man, my back was a bit, might have to go on a second date with you, brother.
Oh my gosh.
So, so ladies, you never know. You got to get out of your radius, got to get out of the guys that you normally date, and to the brothers, you got to get out of the box and expand your horizons. So don't limit yourselves, and that's what it's about. Hey, I'm serious, bro. Like, this is a serious business, man.
Serious.
This is, we're playing with something real here, and it is for older people, like the 30 plus. I have upped the age because I feel like we want to start with 30 plus, and then we are looking at doing younger ones as well for, possibly the 19-year-olds and over, because, they also need love as well. And a lot of these young ones, they're just dating online, and it's like, there's nothing like meeting people in real life. I've been on all those Bumble and what is it, Twitter? What's the other one? Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
And, you just keep swiping and it's just like a headache. You just kind of like swipe, but you don't really know who the person is. You just see what you see and you think, oh, this person looks great. But then, next minute you find out, doesn't have any teeth. It's got no teeth now. No, next minute, Aish, are you sure you're a real girl? No.
Oh man, I tell you what, Queen, you might be onto something, Queen, because you're right. You got I love the fact that you're saying, hey, obviously in this day and age, technology, social media, and then you don't want on the devices. You're onto something in terms of face to face. I think face to face, that you can actually meet the person, you get to know them for a little minute, for a few minutes. You said 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because it came from identity to cultural roots to academy to
I told you,
to youth mentoring, and now
we got chapters, bro. I told you.
It seems like it's left field in terms of the speed dating. But tell us, because what made you like, okay, this is the venture that I think I need to explore and pursue. Maybe there's something in this. Tell me the whole. Run it back
the
to
secret.
Yeah,
you
run
want
it back
the
to the secret. Yeah, the secret. We'll run it back to for the viewers.
Well, you know what? This brain of mine, man, it's called hustle, bro. It's called number one hustler. She don't sleep, man. I'd be hustling in my sleep. Honestly, my friend used to say to me, man, dude, does your brain ever rest? I'd be saying, she goes, hey, you're thinking of something. And whenever I'm doing this, she's like, hey, what are you thinking about, girl? What's the next venture? I'm like, yeah. So the idea actually came from the music video. So while I was editing, and it's funny because I ended up editing my own music video. So I directed the music video, I edited it, but it was one of my girlfriends, Gigi, who's from the Rainbow community, who's also an amazing makeup artist. I was telling her about the idea for the music video. I said, I really want to do this music video and this and that. She's like, you know what it's giving? It's giving that Toni Braxton, where she's out on these dates with these guys and the girls, her girlfriends are like, with these playing cards. And I went, oh my gosh. I said, we need to do a Polynesian version. I said, we need to do our version, our Southside version, Aotearoa version. So the whole thing actually completely changed. Like, even though that was the idea, but the way it turned out into this bigger thing. So I created these cards, these playing cards, similar, but I created these ones out of the brown hearts because I love the brown hearts. And then, and I thought, man, just had this idea of like, why don't we do the dating? Because also the idea also came from one of my friends, Sammy Salsa, who's an amazing fashion stylist, award-winning stylist. And we're at one of my girlfriend's birthday, my girl Lavina. We're celebrating her birthday because she was moving to Papua New Guinea for 6 months. And then Sammy was like, you need to go on Bumble. And I was like, what is that? So anyway, he signs me up on Bumble. I didn't even want to be on Bumble. But then he signs me up and then I'm like swiping. And I'm just like, man, I've never been on this. I was so excited. I was like, what is this? And I got so caught up in it. And so the idea for the music video was she's on these dates with different guys and she's on this dating app. She's swiping and it's called New Bay. And so she's at the music studio with her producer, Shane Walker, and her boyfriend rings her up. And because before that, she's writing a song about her boyfriend, and the producer's like, hey, is that song about your man? And then she's like, yeah, this is about my man. She's like proud to rap the song about me. And then the man rings up and he's like, hey, where are you? Why aren't you at home? You know, are you cheating in this and that? And so she's like, hey, what are you talking about? I'm just at the studio. I'm writing a song about you. But the boyfriend's like, nah, you're lying. Eh? Da, da, da. And then she's like, you know what? I'm done. It's overs. So she hangs up. And then she's like, man, I might have to write a new song. And then the producer turns around and he's like, have you heard of this dating app called New Bay? And then she's like, hey, what's this? And he goes, yeah, you should try it. You might find someone, you might find that someone special on the dating app called New Bay. And so the song starts and she's like her and her girlfriend's at the restaurant outside a cafe, and she's like swiping through these the dating app called New Bay. So if you watch the video, you'll see it. I created the app myself. I created, and I got all my guy mates to send me their photos. And I made a little profile for them, and so it's got a little profile of them, like, in the dating app. It's so funny, eh? So she goes on these dates, and then she goes on more dates, and then the pop the balloon date, and then she doesn't end up with anybody. And then I thought, since I didn't end up with anyone, what can I do to keep this momentum going? Because what happens after this? It just goes to show that there's no hope in love in any of this. None of this worked. The pop the balloon didn't work. The going out on dates didn't work. The app didn't work. So what can I do that will work? Then I went, boom, speed dating. And then before you know it, I was just like, oh my gosh, New Bay. I'm going to actually turn that into something. Because originally I thought I'm going to do an actual app. But then I did a bit of research, and it's quite, it's a lot of work. Yeah. And I have to do like compliances, and I have to also do the code of conduct and, health and safety. And I am in the process of doing that. I also need someone to pair up. So if you're out there and you know how to create apps, holla at your girl. So yeah, it's just about meeting up with someone, connecting with someone that might have similar interest and passion, and maybe collaborate with me on this app. But at the moment, it's just speed dating, which is, I find it a lot better because I prefer face-to-face. Because right there, you can just shut it down. You don't have to keep someone hanging on, and the texting. And because I've been on apps where you end up texting each other, and the next minute you don't hear from them until 2 days later, and they're like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And you're like, oh, hi. And then you're like, what are you up to? Oh, how's your day going? And you're like, man, this is like just dragging. Like, let's just get straight to the point. When are you going to take me out for a dinner? Come on, brother. Like, holla, and it just keeps dragging. And I just, it's not for me, eh? And so I just found that with the speed dating, you can ask them right there, what are you into? Tell me da-da-da-da-da. In 5 minutes, you got 5 minutes to learn about this person. You can feel their energy, you can feel their vibes, and you can see, like, you can judge them from their personality.
It's cool.
And so I found that, and it's old school. For me, it's like taking us back to the old school. When there were no social media. Yeah. When I think about our parents, they all met like that, probably at the pub or what, but, at least they were doing face-to-face. But,
it's like,
or at church, who knows, at church for a lot of us, a lot of them.
It's kind of like they're kind of pitching it, they're kind of pitching them, or they're talking about themselves. And I like that. You said 5 minutes, say 5 minutes?
It can, so 5 minutes to 7 minutes, depending on the vibe. Like I say 5 minutes just on the website because, that's just general thing, information. But on the night, depending on how many people turn up and sign. So if we have like 10 girls and 10 guys, then we will stick to the time because we have to be done by a certain time as well. So everything's timed. There's a lot of bit of work that I have to put into it. Like I put so much work into the website. Everything that's on there, I wrote myself. I created it myself, and I did a lot of research and, spoke to people that are, experts as well in relationships. As a matter of fact, I'm also thinking of having guest couples come in and talk about how they're doing it. So, brother, you and wifey could come through for one session and just talk to them about how you guys, how you guys keeping the relationship going, and just some tips, for them about how you guys were able to make it work and stuff like that. So I've got some friends as well who are keen to come through and share their love story.
Well done.
And in between our academy, so there's also an opportunity for the kids, for the youth, the 18 plus youth, because I work with a lot of those ones as well. So those ones are on work experience. So I would take them out for gigs and things like that. get them job opportunities, like they'll apply for jobs on radio stations and stuff. So we've got a couple of youth who are keen to come through and sing as well. So for some of them who have never really sung in public or they want to keep practicing, they're going to use the opportunity to come out and sing as well. So there's something for everybody.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always thinking of the youth. Everything that I do, even though I'm trying to do it for myself, like for this one, I'm just like, can't get rid of the youth. Got to bring them along, eh? So, yeah, they're all going to be involved in that as well. So that's something exciting.
Because you hope you don't mind me asking, Queen, because I was just wondering, what's the hope? What's the hope for you in terms of the speed dating? Obviously, you want people to pair them up and find love. But for you personally, for you, obviously, you've had some experience, and it may end up being a good experience in terms of your previous partner. But what's the hope for you in terms of starting this?
For me, it's about building relationships. Like I grew up my background is in the hospitality industry. You know, I worked in bars and managed bars and hotels, and you know, before I got into hairdressing and into music, that was my background. You know, so I used to do a lot of sales. I was in sales and stuff. So I'm passionate about that. You know, I'm very passionate about connecting with people, and I think, you know, connecting with my sisters at Woodside, that was one of the things. But also, I mean, it's not even about the venue, but it's just the environment. Just trying to find an environment where, you know, I could have a nice meal. Could get a free meal now.
They get a nice.
But really, I'm just saying a free feed.
Chicken wings.
I'm just trying to get my free feed, guys.
but you're not looking for love. I just wanted to put it out there. You're not looking for love.
Well, brother, hello. That's why I started this, because I'm jumping in too.
Yeah, that's it. That's good.
Hey, that's why I'm doing it, because I'm like, hey, I need some options as well. Hello, that's the whole reason. So I could get involved as well now.
Good. Well, that's good. That's good.
No, but that was the thing I was thinking about. I thought, you know, why not? So I could just jump in as well, you know, and like, hey, who knows? I might find someone as well. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, I've got to be professional and, you know, host as well. So I don't want to see the host taking all the guys. These minutes be like, hey, I want a refund.
Hey, be like, where's Queen? Hey, you said 5 minutes. You have to get an hour, Queen.
Hey, she's taking all the choices that all the girls had. I'll be like, hey, I get the top choice, okay? I get the first choice.
This is my business. Oh my gosh, Queen.
I know. I don't know. I might have to review that part. I might get some complaints. Hey, they might want a refund.
Hey, she said 5 minutes, but she's taking an hour.
Hey, I'm allowed, okay? Yeah, so that was, yeah, but really for me, it's just, yeah, like I said, it's a Monday night, and because I come from the environment, I miss that. I miss being around people, and I miss that fun, and I just want to have a good laugh, and I want to see people happy, and I love hosting, you know. For me, it's just, it's something rewarding for me. And yeah, and we're hoping to make some coin as well. So
cool.
You know, at the end of the day, but you know, it's not really about that. It's the whole just trying something new. You know me, like I said, I don't want to go back to wins, guys. So I'm just trying to stay off it.
You keep the hustling.
Yeah.
You
I'm
keep
hustling, man.
That's the one.
I'm just hustling because I don't want to go back on wins. That's pretty much it.
Good on you.
But I also want to do something that's fun and also with a purpose, and that and it can help people. One thing I do know, bro, is that I know my purpose is to help people. I just know. I'm in my 40s now, and I feel like, man, if you're in your 40s and you don't know your purpose, man, there's something wrong with you. Because I feel like now I'm at this age, and I'm like, you know what? I am really sure that I was meant to be on this earth to help people. I don't know how, but I just feel like that's me.
I'll tell you what, since you're saying that, you're talking about the helping people, I'll tell you, that's the same theme, the common denominator, the common theme that people who are successful, people who hustle, it's not because they're hustling because they want to be recognition or be famous and so forth. It comes down to what you just said. I just want to help people. I want to help people, and I love that. In spite of all the hardships and the cool things that you're doing, and the businesses and the entrepreneurship that you have and you've been doing for some time, I love it. You want to help people, and the hope is that in return, it's reciprocal, that people come and help you. Hey, Queen, you get help in return, and then and also that the right man comes your way.
You know what? This is what I tell my peeps now. I say, you know what? I'm already like past that stage now. I feel like it's okay. I've accepted it, bro. But now I'm already looking at the next life. I'm like, yo, Tupac is single. I got a whole list, man. We got a big list in the next life, man. So I'm not even worried. Honestly,
Tupac.
we got a big list waiting, man. So it's good. I'm good.
Oh, it's cool. I like it. Because you mentioned it early on about acceptance. You know, just some things you can't control. You just accept it.
Yeah,
But
I'm okay. You know what? I'm happy. Like, and I think about, having a extra person as well. Me being a busy person, I feel for these guys because I feel like they'll be waiting, be like, oh, she's got another thing on now, and I just feel sorry for them. And I,
hey, but you might find someone. You might find someone who matches you. You're like, hey, he might be
match
just
the energy. Or,
match the
I'll
energy.
be lucky,
you
bro.
might find
But like I
someone.
said, I've been waiting on Tupac, man. Tupac be waiting for me.
But going into that, because that's interesting. Going into that, because you might find someone in the speed dating and the work that you're doing, and the business that you're doing. And so for men, like talk about men, because obviously mandate, which is a pretty good name, mandate for
Mandate dating. Hey, don't copy. Hey, mine's already.
You got me thinking.
From a podcast to burgers. Oh my gosh, I knew it. I knew there was a catch. That's why he wanted to know more about this beer. Wifey, we need a meeting after this. Hey.
I'm just wondering, Queen, because men, obviously you have your son and so forth. Men, like in terms of man, what do you hope? What do you hope, and what do you hope for not only for your son, but also men in general? Like, what are you gauging? Are they far in between, or a few in between in terms of really good men out there, or you just find like, man, or do you think that men or masculinity and so forth, do you think that there's something missing, or we're lacking something as a wahine? What are you seeing in this day and age in terms of our men, or more so our Polynesian men, and Māori men?
Oh gosh, I don't know because I'm not looking.
No, in terms of looking, but maybe looking,
Yeah.
but in terms of what you're seeing out there, in terms of our rangatai, our young men, even our young adults, what do you think that is kind of lingering or lacking?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, I could have a whole list, but when I think about the young men that come through the program, and I, seeing them dating other girls as well, I would say, you got to have some ethic, respect. A lot of them, they don't know how to date. They don't know how to take a girl out. They don't know how to open their car. Or, like I'm old school. I like those things, and I always try and instill that into the girls. Like when I take the girls out and I make them, or they want to sing, I will say, sing Scrubs. I don't want no scrubs. Say it again. Say it again. And I hear them saying it. And I say, I don't want no scrub. And then I'm like, yeah, now you know the kind of men that you want. You don't want that kind of guy. You don't want a guy that's just wants to, sleep with you, or they just want to, be with you because you're pretty, or, you want a man who has values, who values women, who obviously, even if they didn't have a mother figure around them, but they've seen from other men around them, how they treat their woman. And so that's what I feel like is lacking is that, because of everyone being on social media and everyone on phones, and a lot of men are missing that, those basic, what do you call it?
Etiquette.
That's it, pretty much. And just like, and like understanding, I think about relationships that I've been in, me being a busy person, it's like before you even date me, understand my situation. And then let me know whether you can understand, whether you can put up with it or not. Some of these guys are like, no, I can handle. And they're like, oh, like, yes, I can put up with you. And then about a year later, they're just like, nah, I'm done, and they don't know how to tell you. They just, they'll go cheat, or, they start, ill-treating you, or, they're just, the love's not there anymore. They just, they start doing things to play games, and I'm just like, I don't have time for that, When you think about a man, like when us sisters talk about, I want a real man, it's like, what is a real man? A real man is someone who actually understands who you are as a person, as a human. Do you actually care? To what level do you care for me? Do you care enough to like understand that I'm actually really busy with my son right now. I'm not trying to avoid you, or you want to come over and help me out, or you want to come and see it for yourself, and like go over and beyond, and don't just do it just to impress me, but do it because your heart actually says, I love this girl, and I really want to help her because I know that she could also, support me in what I want to do, and that'll be the most ultimate. Because for me, I'm at this point where I feel like, I don't want to change nobody. I'm not here to change you, but you should already know how to hold yourself down, and that's all it is. I'm so easy. Like, I don't even, I'm not trying to sell myself here. There's, speed dating's already started. Okay, you can send your applications to the brother and your CV and everything that comes with it. But you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, so I think for us, like for me at this point, we're very simple people. Like, I'm really simple and easy. You just got to be yourself and hold yourself down, and be able to, like, meet me halfway, got to match. The energy's got to match. If you see I'm a go-getter, you got to do something for yourself as well. Don't be relying on my hustle, and you just like, be like, yeah, that's my girl. But it's like, do something for yourself as well. But, even if there isn't, but I think at the end of the day, there's got to be the mutual love. When you talk about love. It's
good.
I mean, you can talk about that, bro. You and wifey, what keeps your relationship going? What is it? You would have more experience, bro. You're as a man. Tell us, brother. Tell us, sisters.
But you
tell us about how you treat your woman and how you treat your wife, because that's what we want to know. Like, how is it that you're able to keep your relationship going?
I feel like you nailed it. In terms of a man, you asked a very important question. What is a real man? What is a real man? And obviously the values. I'm old school.
Yeah,
I'm old school
as well.
Old school. You treat her with respect, utmost respect, loving her regardless. And like you said, man, my wifey does her own thing. I do my own thing. But at the end of the day, we come together. We still do things together.
Yeah,
we respect each other, and it's just, and you just love. In spite of all the flaws, you just love each other and support each other. And you love what you said. You said it, the values. There's good values, morals, etiquette, all that kind of stuff. Because I grew up old school, and so just the actual love and just communication, so forth. All those things that people hear and talk about communication, open communication, knowing what's happening, and also being your own self as an individual, but also as husband and wife. And so, you sound like you were counselling there, Queen. They sound like So,
well, I have been divorced twice, so I do have some experience.
Hardo, and I do, and I appreciate that, because even in the midst of those times, you can still carry on, because that's not easy. You talk about divorce, I can imagine. I can only imagine, like, man, the pain, the emotional damage sometimes. And you go through it, but you're still here and you're still pushing through.
You got to
when the
got to let it go.
The exit doors. Yeah, you're right.
And so, and it's something for us too to learn. Like, you got to keep the flame going. It doesn't end there, And I think sometimes with these marriages that I've had in the past, the guys got comfortable, Once they had me, they're like, oh yeah, with Queen Shirl'e, and they're like, telling their friends, and I'm like, hey, don't be introducing me like that, Introduce me as your wife, as the person, the human, before the rapper or the MC. You don't go telling people that introduce me like that. And that was a bit, I was a bit hurt, how some of these past relationships were. And then I think about it, are you really with me because, of that, or you really care about me? And so it is a little bit harder for us, who are in the public, and, it can be a little bit hard. And I think sometimes that's why we choose guys who are, not our type, or like ones that are low key or not on social media. Because I used to just date guys that aren't on social media, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, he'll do, because you're not on Facebook. I'll be like, oh yeah, he's not on Facebook. Yeah, it's a big tick. But then I didn't even check all the other things, And so, so you got to have a whole list. Got to do a checklist, and that's why we're still single.
Hey. maybe just for now, you know, your new venture, your new project's gonna something might come, something's in the air, but
it's all good. Like I said, it's okay. It's okay. Like, you know, us women, we survivors, man. We can survive through anything. And I think right now, me being a single mum, like a lot of us mums who are single, like, parenting our kids on our own, it's hard. So our focus is like on our kids. We don't have the time or energy to be mucked around. You know, we want serious, people. So this speed dating thing, we're hoping that people that come through are serious about it. They are serious about meeting somebody and hopefully find love again, And I know that these single mums will make time. We can make it work. We always do. But yeah, in my case, as a Christian,
hey, never say never. Never say never. Never say never.
But yeah, bro. Thank you for the plug because it's something new. I've never done it before, like getting into this sort of business. So, venturing out into this is a whole new world. So I really appreciate you giving me the platform to share that and have a tell Noah about it because man, there's a lot.
Don't even mention it, Queen. But I do have one more thing, Queen, because most guests that come on, I always want to know legacy. You think about legacy when you leave or you exit this world. What does Queen Shirl'e want to be remembered for? In terms of, it could be anything. It doesn't have to be music or whatever it is. But what's in your heart of hearts? What does the legacy you want to leave behind? What is the legacy you want to leave behind?
That's a really good question. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. And I think for a lot of us, we just want to make sure that we leave knowing that our kids have something, there's people that they can turn to. There's hope for them out here. There's a platform or some safe space for them, and that they'll always remember me as that safe space, the person that gave them a chance or someone that believed in them, And I just hope that they will always remember me as that person that when nobody believed in them, hey, Shirl'e did. She'd been through it, so I can get through it too. And I know it sounds really simple, but that's pretty much it. I'm a simple person, to be honest. I just want to make sure that our future generation have somewhere to go. They're not alone like I was, Yeah.
Man, you know what? I think I heard you said simple several times now. Listen, Queen, you say you're simple, but you're a simple person who does extraordinary things. And so props to you. And isn't it ironic that your legacy always go back to our young people, always go back to the purpose or the vocation that you feel like, this is what God's put me on this planet to do, in spite of all the other things and projects that you're doing and have done. And so, Queen, thank you so much. I'm assuming we're going to have another part 2 because there's so much more.
I know, we didn't even go through the book, but we can talk about the book in the next one.
Oh, for sure, because the work that you do and also your heart, what I've gauged is your heart not only for hip-hop and music and your culture, but your heart for our young people. And that speaks volumes. Not too many people who, in this space of music and in the spotlight, and the public eye, I want to help these people, help these kids, especially when you tell that story. They were going to buy alcohol. And you could have said, I'll buy alcohol, see you later, and not even care. But your heart speaks volumes in terms of I want to help our young people. So Queen, and I always give the guests the last words. But before we do that, before I give you the last words, I do want to give you a caricature. Now, I'm a visual artist. I love the creative art space and so forth. And I thought I'd do a caricature, a quick sketch of how I envision you to be. And so on behalf of the Mandate team, on behalf of Danton and Caroline, everyone involved in the production team, this is for you, Queen.
What? What is this?
It's just a cartoon caricature of you. And so, sis,
thank you so much, bro. This is amazing.
No, thank you.
Really
thank you for your time, and thank you. I tell you what, Queen, just your gusto in terms of your ball of energy. Now I know why the man's like, I can't keep up. the same level of energy. Now I know why. It's like,
hey,
okay.
Don't tell everybody.
but I do,
that's true,
and I am. I'm wishing and praying for nothing but the best in all your ventures, and I'm hoping this speed dating thing just blows up. The new babe blows up, and so men, women who are looking for single, ready to mingle, you need to check out New Bay. And so 18th of August, Woodside, come, I'll put down the website and so forth on this episode, and you need to sign up. You need to sign up, and you need to meet up with some new people and make some new friends along the way. And so,
and a new accountant, maybe.
Chiropractor.
New chiropractor.
But Queen, we always give the guest the last words. So any words of encouragement, not only for our men, but our wahine, what are a word or statement or quote, even something that you might have written or something or poetry that you want to leave with our guests, our viewers and our listeners?
Thank you so much, bro. I really appreciate you, and like your heart as well, and this, and putting up with me this whole hour.
Hey, the energy, man, your energy, then you get it, man.
Thanks for the plug too, bro. My thing would be, I always say this to our young people, is that you got to believe in yourself. You cannot do anything really, or dream and make your dreams come true without believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself when nobody else believes in you, because that's the key. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Maybe it is a little hard to get there, but you got to believe in yourself. You got to push yourself and do whatever it takes. Research. Go and study. If you have to go back to school, you got to go back and study. You got to do a course or whatever you got to do to get better at what you do. Get those skills, upskill, do it, because that's my thing. And I've been doing that, because I left school early. I left school at 15. And so I thought it was over for me, That's why my English isn't that great, or my handwriting's still a little bit, But I went back and got my degree, got my diploma in education, and and I just kept getting certificates and upskilling. Now I've got a professional coaching, certificate that I got a couple of years ago, and that was just to help me become a better communicator and also a better, coach and mentor as well. So whatever you want to do in life, if you feel like, you've got to upskill, don't do shortcuts. Go and study and learn more about your craft and about how you can become better at it. Because I tell you, it'll be so worth it. And, who knows, you might start your own little business and make some money as well. So that's the little, my little kōrero for the evening. So thank you so much.
My Lord lover. Hey, please don't forget to subscribe once again. The amazing Queen Shirl'e.
Thank you. Whakataitira lava.
Band-Aid.